So, good morning, everyone. I welcome Chemistry Department, Department of Humanities, and Department of Mechanical Engineering for this short interaction, which is about learning management system. I thank Dr. Rajiv sir for giving a brief about what learning management systems are. And since morning, you have been exposed to a couple of different platforms which are actually learning management systems. I would be covering Canvas, which could be called as an integration of a lot many services and applications which have been which are supposed to be delivered in this digital learning short-term course. I will also be talking about the Safe Exam Browser. Day before yesterday, as we all got a notification that we are supposed to conduct our examinations online. So this would be a very great aid in letting us conduct our online examinations by restricting the student's access to some of the unrestricted content which he should not be exposed to during an exam. So I'll quickly go through what a learning management system is, what are the features of an integrated comprehensive learning management system over the platforms which are dealt in isolation. Like Zoom, if we talk about, Zoom can only take care of the online meetings and video conferencing part of the learning. Whereas a learning management system, it is a comprehensive management system which can take care of our needs of the complete conduction of courses, all the learning activities which a teacher is supposed to do at his end, get feedback from the students, assign students the assignments and take a feedback of it, collect the assignments, evaluate it, mark them, grade them. If any supplementary material has to be provided, how it could be done the best way. Then we will be talking about Safe Exam Browser, and I will be giving a short demonstration. So whosoever has come with their laptops can choose to install Canvas on their system. Meanwhile, they don't have to install it basically. They only have to log in. It's a very short process of 2 minutes. Meanwhile, during the lecture, during the introductory part, you can all choose to install Canvas. So I will be explaining 3 simple steps. How can you kickstart on the Canvas platform? Like how to launch a course, how to assign some basic files to it, how to add some of the syllabus content to the respective course, and so on. So talking about learning management system, we are so far talking about creation of content. So this is creation of content. We do create content when we talk about the MOOCs. In the afternoon lecture, there is a lecture on MOOCs through SWAYAM and NPTEL portal. There are different courses. So that is the created content. The created content is hosted there. So that is creation of content. You deliver something, you make a presentation for something, you make a video note, you make an audio note or something like that. Learning management system is more about curation of content. Curation means selecting something, organizing something, and making it ready and managing the collected items so that the students, the teachers, and even parents can have a look of what that course is all about. How it is being launched, how the progress of the student is happening in that particular course. So
these things are appearing in the online.
I think it will be fine now. Please.
Just click on that last down. After connect, then move sideways. Last. I think it's
So now briefly talking about the features of a learning management system. It is a smart feature. It is used for efficient online course management. You can track your courses. If a faculty is taking 4 courses in one go, he can track all the 4 courses with a very good interface. What the problem that like most of us have been facing when we were using Google Classrooms was the interactive the UX design of that particular application was not that great. So here it it is a more interactive and a convenient version of keeping a track of all the courses we are running. So that I will be making clear by the demonstration part. We can do online assessment, we can get a feedback, we can conduct surveys. By the end of the course, we can ask the students to give a feedback on the overall course and things like that. These are the advantages which we'll deal with in the demonstration. So present time, we are all stuck with the COVID scenario. So the goal in this condition is to establish systematic special educational resources and support services so that we can actually maintain continuity of learning. Continuity of learning could be maintained through remote learning. So remote learning means if a person is distantly placed, he or she should have an access to what we are trying to convey, and it should be easier for him. There are issues like they have limited connectivity also. They have other problems also. So the platforms should not be that heavy for that their system. It should support their bandwidth in which they are dealing with. So we should resort to smaller, lightweight applications, which can make them participate efficiently in whatever exercises we are conducting. So we need to have internet-based courses here. We should have a good collaboration between the faculty and the students, tracking of attendance. One important thing is how do we keep a track of the active participation of students. So this platform also allows you to have a very good documentation and record keeping, like how many minutes a student has spent on a particular assignment, whether how much time the student is giving on the platform in totality, how many sessions, if we are organizing a discussion session per se, then whether or not he is participating in the discussion. We can have a graded discussion on this platform. Rajiv sir told about we can have discussions on other platforms also, but it is merely a discussion. If someone is asking questions, actively participating, we can even award marks if a person is active during discussion. So this is how intelligently we can do justice to the efforts being done by the students and whether or not they are making a sincere effort. Next thing is student can also have an access to the past lectures. If we are in habit of using this management system, what 2 years ago was loaded or was conducted, was organized on this platform could be used or could be seen by the students to refer what were the previous lectures, what were the previous quizzes which were organized, and so on and so forth. Evaluation and assessment is also an integrated part here. Now, focusing on evaluation and assessment first, as we are approaching our examinations. So there are three and even more different platforms by which we can conduct safe examination. So I will be discussing about Metal Safe Exam Browser. The SWAYAM and the NPTEL courses being run are trying to conclude their courses by means of this exam browser only. They are in the phase of finding out how good or bad the response is when they conduct online examination. So a safe examination browser is an environment which allows us to carry out safe e-assessments. It turns the computer into a secure workstation. Like for that duration of examination, student is not allowed to have access to any other browser or any other web page or any other application. He won't be able to open a Word document or an Excel document or a PDF while attempting to that examination. So the computer becomes a secure workstation unless and until you have two options: you complete the examination, submit the exam, or you quit from the examination. It gives a control access and prevents unauthorized resources being used during the exam. In this case, the audience is passive and it cannot interact. You can simply log in with your credentials. You can take participation in the exam and you can just submit your responses. This no, ma'am, it cannot be used on a mobile. It is a computer-based application, so yes. So these are the types of questions which are supported in this thing. Whatever we can think of in terms of exam, be it a multiple choice, be it an open answer question, be it something if you expect students to come up with illustrations, they can also draw something, they can make a sketch of something, they can make a table, they can write a table or something. They can also upload. There are also a provision of upload type questions here. You can have fill in the blanks, you can have true and false, you can have every possible format of questions. So these are some of the prerequisites one has to follow before, as a student, if he or she has to and get started with the exam. Antivirus should be turned off, the Windows should be updated. These are some of the prerequisites that one has to be trained about. It could take 5 minutes or 7 minutes to make these arrangements. So we can launch a practice test or a practice exam before we actually float the main exam. This is how the interface looks like. You have a question, you have 4 options, you have a time running on the top right side of the screen, which makes sure about how much time is left. Then you can move to the next session from the bottom right corner. Then if you're revisiting a question, then there is a revisit thing which will appear here. So it is a very interface and easy and a simple interface to follow. Now talking about Canvas. So these things I've already told about in the learning management system advantages. So I would be more focusing on the demonstrations so that a few of us can actually get started with the interface. So talking about attendance progress, you can have we all think that attendance is a very essential part of learning. One has to attend to sessions because we are running some formal technical courses here. So we can associate a rubric with the attendance. How much marks we can allot to attendance could be set on a Canvas platform. Like if a student has 3 absentees, then 12 points are awarded out of 25 total points. If a student has 2 absents, 5 marks are deducted and only 20 marks could be allotted. So these settings we can do. We can personalize it, we can customize it, how many marks we want to allot to attendance and on what basis. So in this example, if this particular student on the top left side has 2 absents, so he has been allotted 20 out of 25 marks. We can also add comments to each and everything that we are giving. Like assignments also, we can, if they submit any assignment, we can have an audio note also with the assignment. We can have a remark also with the assignment. Even we can give a clarification for the attendance, like which 2 classes have been missed by the student, so that there are no unnecessary discussions and clarifications need to be given. It's a very elaborate system, and it depends on us to what detail we need to use. We want to use it. Tracking the progress, like we generally have modules for all the courses that we undertake. So we can design the modules, like the first module is there, assignments are there, then at last there is a quiz. We can also set up prerequisite. We generally talk about MOOCs, Mass Open Online Courses. They are self-paced. We take pride in calling them as self-paced. These courses are self-paced. But I personally believe that they should be regulated. They should be proctored. They should not be left totally open, completely open. So we can have a prerequisite for a course or a module also. Within a course, if we choose to have a prerequisite that module 1 should be completed. Completed as in these things have been gone through and module 1 quiz has been attempted by the student. Then only one will have an activity module 2. So we parameters, which makes it more scientific towards learning. Like if we have to personally mentor a group of students, which we all generally do, so it becomes easier. It adds to that. It adds to the experience of that work. Like we select the 2 students and we get to look at performance so far and contribution of the student in terms of module 1, whether it is in progress or not. The other 2 modules are locked, which means he has not completed module 1. We can also, if we have assignments, we can also have listing like this assignment, this student got so many marks. Whether he's a habitual defaulter or it is for a specific cause. So we can devise our ways of learning based on assessment of or tracking of the progress of the student. Similarly, like we have in Microsoft Teams, we can have on other platforms, we can have discussion forums. I've already told you that grading could also be done based on the discussions and chat forums. This is how we launch a discussion board. We can assign title, We can tell whether it is a graded thing or not. We can enable podcast feed or disable podcast feed. We can also broadcast lecture. Like we were using Cisco WebEx for it. We can also use Zoom meeting for it. So within the same, we can broadcast a lecture. So this is one shoe fitting all kind of a solution for our teaching needs. It is a speed grader. Like when it comes to assigning marks to the assignment, when we have some 5 questions given to the student, let's say we have a word limit for a question, and if a student writes in response to the question, then how it has to be marked. If he is falling short of some word limit, like if 500 is the word limit, he has only written 300 words, then what shall be our response? Content is a separate thing. One may read the content and allot the marks separately. But this is smart and intelligent marking scheme. This will count the words on its own and allot a specific portion of the marks based on whether he is complying to the word limit or not. Similarly, other features are also there. Like you simply need to select on, like if it is meeting the expectations of, if you read the whole answer, if you find that it is a good written content, then you can simply select on meets expectations, or if it is exceptionally great, you simply need to click on this, and 5 marks would be automatically allotted to that question. So combining it, one can have the marking for the overall assignment. So on some of the objective criteria, we can allot marks, and it becomes very efficient for us to mark them with a common criteria. So these are some of the comparisons between a Google Classroom. In the morning session, you had a class on, we had a talk on Google Classrooms, I think. So there were some queries, and there were some things which needs to be responded, like whether or not Canvas is a better solution than Google Classrooms. What features of Google Classrooms are still better than a learning management thing? So content sharing is there. There is a provision of instant recording here. Like when you develop a course, we can instantly record something and make it a part of the course. So if we have to record an introductory lecture, in the next session, Vineet Saula sir will be telling about like how to record courses. What hardware do we need? We need a noise cancellation mic. We need some of the other hardware. Then what are the technical specifications we actually need to go through? But on this platform, for short video recordings, we can use the interface, built-in features, which I will show in the demonstration. This is all I have told. Also, at the end of the semester, students generally fall short of from where to procure the study material. So whatever has been shared throughout the semester, like be it PDF files, be it video files, be it video links, be it other documents, Excel sheets, be it anything, they can download all the content for a course by a single click. So it is good for the students and teachers as well sometimes. Like they have everything stored on the server, so they can have an easy access to the content anywhere and with a very simple access. Timekeeping, I've already told you about. Like it keeps a track of how many minutes a person is involved in, like writing an assignment or spending on the platform, and it keeps on adding it. Whenever you log in, it starts counting like how much time is being spent. So we can integrate it with Google Drive. We can also integrate it with Twitter if you want to, like if some information has to be passed on about a test or about the next class is going to happen, then we can integrate it with Google Drive as well. We can all take all the data from this platform to Google Drive as well. Calendar management, I will be explaining through the demonstration. It is an excellent feature and it helps us in time management. Like how can we effectively manage the time and how we do not end up falling short of submissions. We do not miss the deadlines is the main idea behind using a calendar. So next thing is going to be the demonstration. I will be explaining the interface. How does the interface look like? And creating a course. Very brief demonstration. So when we enter into the Canvas platform, when we log in with our credentials, this is how it looks like. This is the main dashboard. Here we have all the list of the courses which we are actually dealing in. So these courses are generally color coded. So if we look at from a student's perspective, he has 5 to 6 courses every semester. So he has to have a clear idea that quiz in this course is scheduled on this date. There is a test. There is an assignment of this course on this date. So he will be clear about the whole calendar thing when it comes to color coding. So this is known as the dashboard. Here we have a list of all the courses, published courses and unpublished courses, which are under content creation. This is known as the sidebar. Sidebar, you have notifications coming for, like, there is a test scheduled on so and so date, so and so time. Then we have an end-term exam about the subject. There is also there will be notification for that. There is a quiz. If there is a quiz, then quiz notification is also there. You can actually start a new course by clicking on start a new course. So those who are logged in with on their computers can try this. Like if you have to start a new course and it is about, if you have to make a course for technical writing and presentation skills, then we can write we have written the course name here. We can write the course code as well. Then what do we want to how do we want to place it? We want to make it a private course or a public course. Public domain course, anyone from outside can access who is a member of on Canvas, who has a login on Canvas. Private thing, if we want to keep it specific to MNIT students, or that too within the institute with the institute domain IDs, then we can choose to make it a private course. We'll simply create a course here. By writing this, we enter onto this module and we can create a new module for it. It asks, how do you want to take this course forward? When we start populating the content of this course here. So I'm not adding any module to it. I'm simply clicking on publish here. Then it is asking, what do you want to how do you want to make the home page visible as? So I want the syllabus to be the home page for the course. Whenever a student visits the course, he happens to see the syllabus of the course. So I'll click syllabus here and I'll click on choose and publish. The course has been published and I have chosen the home page as syllabus. So the next thing that I have to do is I have to populate the syllabus, the reference of it, the reference files, reference readings of it, what is going to be the course content, who is going to take the course, what are the contact hours, contact number, contact email ID of the faculty who is undertaking it. So I will go to the courses tab. So I forgot to mention that this is the navigation pane. So using this, we can go to the different courses. We can go to the dashboard where all the courses will be there. We can choose the calendar option, which I will be discussing in a while. So I'll go to the courses option. I'll click on my subject's name. This is how it looks like. This course is already being fed. The details have already been fed on the platform. So this is how it looks like. I made a course, the course coordinator, email ID, office hours. We can make it more presentable. We can add images. We can add a video introduction to the course. We have the objective of the course, contents of the course, then the reading references of the course. So one has a fair idea of what this course is all about. Similarly, the course that we have made right now, we can try doing the same for our course. So we'll go to the courses section. We have recently made technical writing and presentation skills. Now we want to add the syllabus part to it. So we'll go to edit. As this is the home page, we can simply go here, the course objective, the course presentation skills and everything. till references, I can copy and simply paste. So here it is. Now we can also make some formatting here, like we have to bold something. We want to bold the titles. How the assessment is going to happen. The references thing. So these are the options I was discussing earlier in the introduction part. Like this particular option is insert or edit media. So when we are designing the course, there itself we can provide a link, or we can also add a video. If it is a video file, MP4 file, DAT file, we can have the video file uploaded on the Canvas server, or we can also provide a link for the same. Like if we have a video from YouTube which talks about technical writing, and if we want students to have suppose this is some video and I just want to provide a link for the same. I'll copy the link. I'll go there. I'll click on the second option, which is insert or edit media. I'll simply paste the source here. I can lock the dimensions. Like on a small window, it is going to play on this platform. We can also have a link and switch on to YouTube to watch the complete video on a bigger resolution. I'll simply click OK. So the video link has been inserted here. We can play the video right here, right now, without moving on to YouTube or any other distant application. And then when I click here, it starts playing here. Similarly, if we scroll, if we see on the right side of here of the screen, there are images. We can also insert images. If we have some slide clippings of the slides, we can also place it here. We can upload PDF files, doc files, Excel files using this file option. So I go to file, and if I choose to upload a new file, I can choose a file and I can upload it directly here. So this is how we can actually make all of our assignments. This is just the case of syllabus. We can have an introductory lecture, we can have all the contents. Same is the case with the assignments. We can also give assignments in the same fashion. We can also give, we can also suggest them study material. So I update my course, and as in when I update, this is how it is going to appear in front of a student whenever he opens it. The video link would be there, and other details, whatever you need to provide. So as far as assignments and quizzes are concerned, assignments can be done similarly by clicking on this assignments tab. We have to add an assignment. We can set different parameters for the assignment. We can, what is the assignment name, what is the description, how many numbers we have to award, because at the end of the course we need to grade them. We have to have a cumulative marking of all the assignments. So we can have the points decided here. What is the submission type? We want them to submit in person, then we can also choose that. We want it online, then it is online. Group assignment can also be students, like in a group of 5 or a 7, then it asks for the groups. Then you have to make separate groups. When you go to the people tab, I'll show you. In this, there is a people tab. So people, we can add different students. We can make groups of 5, 7, 10, 15. One more problem which has been faced, like some of the applications, they allow 100 students per. Some of the advanced features, like license versions, they allow 200, 250 students at max. This application, you can add 1,000 students. So if it is a big webinar or conference that is in your mind, and if you want to conduct it online, you can have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people who join it. So assignments can be developed in the similar fashion, and you can decide the due date for the exam, the timings by which one would have an access to attempt to these assignments, and you simply have to publish. As and when you publish, all the students will get a notification, like there has been an assignment which has been launched, the due date is so and so, and you have to respond as per your convenience. We can also set the notifications. How often do we want to receive notifications? I personally felt a little irritated when I was taking classes on Google Classrooms, because with every assignment submitted, I got an email. There were two ways: either I unsubscribe myself, I don't want to receive any notifications, or it was like all messed up. My important emails were clashing with the submission entries and everything. So I this provides us an option. How do you want to receive notifications? I want to receive notifications at the end of the day at so and so time. So that could be handled like I go to account and I set the notifications. So we have 4 different options. One is notify me right away. Whenever there is an activity, spontaneously I will receive a notification. This is one mode. Second is send daily summary. By the end of the day, all those summary mails, whatever activity has happened throughout the day, I can receive it by the end of the day. So I have a better option, like in the morning when I get up, I can choose all of those notifications, I can move to the respective box. So life is a little more sorted than before. Then weekly summary, if head of the department has to be involved, like if he has to be made aware, like what all activities has gone through in a particular course. So he can get a weekly summary also. And the last is I don't want any notification. I'll see on my own what all is happening on my learning platform. So I was in courses. So I would like to brief you about some of the more features, like what are the capacities of. So this is how as in when I click here, it appears like this. So we can have discussions, grades. We can create grades directly here. We can add people here. One more problem is there when we have to add people. There is one way of writing all email IDs one after the other. But we already have, most of us have Google Google groups already existing. So we can link those Google groups directly to this software. So if a class has a Google group, all your email IDs will be added by a single click. So it has some integration and collaboration with Google Drive and some other handy applications. Next thing is pages. Files. Files is about whatever content we choose to offer them for reference or for some other purpose. Then rubrics, as I explained, like what conditions you want to design for evaluation of assignments, you can do that. We can have conferences also, like what we are doing in Cisco, WebEx, in other platforms. We can have classroom sessions in the name of conferences, but conferences are not being directly taken care by Canvas. They have an integration with this software, Blindsight. Blindsight network, it will switch the mode from Canvas to Blindsight. So the conference can be held here. And duration of conference, we have restrictions of 40 minutes or some 60 minutes in the restricted applications. But here you can have, if we have an institute collaboration with them, we can have a 2-hour, 3-hour conference easily. So there are no issues regarding that. Other options are like we can manage attendance very easily. Those are the added advantage of it. So whenever we design a course on the other platforms, we generally share a course code that we choose to paste in WhatsApp group. You kindly refer this course code and join here. So here, if a student is on Canvas, if he has logged in on WhatsApp, Canvas, then he'll get notifications from the management system itself. He doesn't need to refer to any course code, because everything will be displayed on his homepage. Like this is the course, new course, old course, activities. If there is a surprise test, we can have a feed for that also. If we want a student to be prepared before our lecture, like please go through these 2 files and this short video of 5 minutes before you enter into the class, we can create a separate notification or separate reminder for that. So one can be very well prepared about attending the course, and their efficiency is also going to increase. Another thing is, this is not just for the teachers and students. The mentors, the guardians, and teachers can also, and the parents can also be made a part of it. Like if they have to be made aware, like this is the progress of a student, or if this is what is happening in the course at the institute side. These are the these are the teaching assignments one has to complete. Then they can also have a restricted account where they can only see and participate in a restricted capacity and see what is in the overview, like what is going on from a bird's eye view. So as far as one thing is there, we can also design quizzes, like we're talking about examination. So I can give you a very small demonstration of how quizzes can be made. All the questions that I've mentioned, short answer, fill in the blanks, true, false, descriptive, short descriptive, long descriptive answers, upload type questions, all can be designed using a quiz on Canvas. Like I've clicked on quiz. I will go on add a quiz here. I can name the quiz. This is a practice test or a practice quiz. I can write the details of it. 5 questions are there. No negative marking. Time is 5 minutes. Then I will set the parameters of the quiz. I want it to be a graded quiz or just a practice quiz. So I can choose to have it is a practice quiz. I do not want it to be a graded quiz. I want to shuffle the answers. This also provides us an option of shuffling the answers like the other smart softwares and applications allow. I think it won't take more than 5 minutes from now. Okay, I'll take 2 to 3 minutes more. No, sir, 2 to 3 minutes. So we can choose to have shuffle the answers here. We can set the time limit. We can also allow them multiple attempts. Like they can have 2 attempts of the same quiz, and the best of their response would be taken for grading or for the record keeping purpose. Quiz restrictions are there. I can have a password for the quiz, like only a selected few with the password can only attempt the quiz. Like for the whole batch, if I ask them like only who has complete attendance is allowed to have an exam, then I can share the password with them. They can have this thing. Similarly, due date, I have to set the due date. If I say 16th is going to be the due date, available from tomorrow to 16th, and I save it. I do not click on save and publish, because if I publish it, they will get a notification that quiz is there. But so far, we have not inserted the questions in the quiz. So it's important we populate the quiz. We have a question bank. So for that, I will click on preview. This is how the quiz looks like. Click on quizzes. Okay, so I came in the edit mode. Once I've set the parameters for the quiz, I will simply click on the questions which I need to populate here. I'll click on new question. I will choose what type of question it is. It is a multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blanks, multiple blanks, multiple answers, matching. Like we can have 4 items there, 4 items there. We can also design matching questions, essay questions, file upload questions, and everything. I can write like this can be the question description.
Hello. Let's move on. Okay.
Will you please tell me the questions? नया join किया है क्या है?
Question was regarding the license. License.
Okay, okay. Am I audible? The online attendees.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
No.
Okay, sir. About the license, this is all the other software like Moodle also, which would be discussed by Sahula sir in the next lecture. Is a paid software, whereas Canvas as a learning management is a free platform with relatively less restrictions as compared to the other learning management systems.
Oh.
And we can have as many. Yes, ma'am. Blind slide. Yes, ma'am. If you have any other questions, you can retype the question because of some technical error, I could not see the previous questions.
There is only one question.
Yes, ma'am. It is a secure platform. Thank you, ma'am. So this is how the Canvas login platform looks like. You simply have to type Canvas LMS online login.
Hello.
And when you click on the Canvas login platform, yes, sir.
Screen is not visible. Present.
Okay, sir. I will share the screen. Sir. Just a second, sir. Just a second. Sir, is it visible now?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So this is how the first login screen of the Canvas looks like. You simply have to click on sign up here.
Okay.
For a school account on the previous page, I'll go to the previous page. If you have an institute account which has some more features and some more unrestricted access to the content and the application features, we can have a collaboration with of our institute with Canvas, so they can provide us with a school account which has got more features. So for our purpose, we can simply try signing up from there, get a free Canvas account. This is a very small form that we need to follow. No, so far we do not have. So your phone number, only email ID and phone number needs to be put in. Okay. And we simply have to click on next, and we will be a part of the Canvas environment. Any other questions, please? Yes. We can set that. They will get a notification, and they will got a link for it. And most importantly, the other applications are only computer based. This Canvas has got a mobile application also. So there will be notification on their mobile screen. If they are logged in through their mobile, if they are logged in through their credentials on the mobile application, then they simply will get a notification, and on their own home screen, they will have a project to enter into the exam. And only they would be able to join it, because it is a management system. It is not a simple email which has gone to them. Okay. Okay. I think I need to explore that, because I have not conducted an exam so far, so I can go through it, and I can make this clear to you in the next session. Yes. Okay. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Yash, for providing valuable information on learning management.